Hello everybody, this is Demographia and I'm finally back for a real video this time. No announcements or shoutouts, okay, maybe a few, but that's not what the main focus of this video would be, so I'm so glad to finally be making a video. Wanted this to come out yesterday on my birthday, but unfortunately I couldn't make it in time, so, but you know, this is only one day later, so I'm fine with that. Now, yeah, I'm really glad that I'm able to make this. The reason I wasn't making video was because when my history was deleted, then I stopped making videos on all my channels, and so by the time I restarted, I was like already like a month late, and so I had to continue writing the script and everything, and so I only managed to finish that now. So this was supposed to be the April video, but guys, don't worry, I will make another video at the end of May, and so that way we will continue with the once a month video for Demographia. And so obviously this one will be about Oceanians, and this is the last video on race. Woohoo! Okay, but as I said, there'll be another video in May. Spoiler alert, it will be a race, but it's also not a race. And if you're wondering what that means, then just stay tuned. Anyways, Oceanian people are one of the many races on Earth. They mainly live in Oceania, obviously, with most living in Indonesia, Malaysia, Papua New Guinea, East Timor, Australia, the Solomon Islands, Fiji, Kiribati, the Marshall Islands, the Federated States of Micronesia, Nauru, Palau, Samoa, Tonga, Tuvalu, and Vanuatu. Many times people use Pacific Islander to refer to this race, but it is pretty inaccurate since they are only because they are native only to islands in the Pacific, but also that ignores the people native to other islands in the Pacific, such as Taiwan and the Japanese archipelago, where East Asian people are the majority. By the way, watch my video about East Asians. Philippine and Malay archipelagos, where Southeast Asian people make up the majority. Watch that video as well. If you want to know why, though, watch my videos about races that don't exist, since I go much into much more detail there than I have time for here. So Oceanian people are divided into several ethno-linguistic groups, the largest one being the Papuan one, followed by the Melanesian one, followed by the Moluccan one, followed by the Polynesian one, followed by the Aboriginal one, followed by the Negrito one, followed by the Micronesian one. In total, there are around 14,700,000 Oceanian people, which makes them a tiny race compared to basically every other race covered so far here. Papuan peoples mainly live in most of Papua New Guinea, obviously, and eastern Indonesia. Melanesian peoples mainly live in Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, most of Fiji, and eastern Papua New Guinea. Moluccan peoples mainly live in eastern Indonesia. Polynesian peoples mainly live in Tonga, Samoa, and Tuvalu. Aboriginal peoples mainly live in central Australia. Negrito peoples mainly live in western Malaysia. And Micronesian peoples mainly live in the Federated States of Micronesia, Palau, Kiribati, the Marshall Islands, and Nauru. Now, out of the Oceanian people, around 7,100,000 or 48.6% are Muslims, 4,600,000 or 31.5% are Catholics, around 2,300,000 or 15.8% are Muslims, around 500,000 or 3.4% are atheists, and around 100,000 or 0.7% are Hindus. The largest Oceanian ethno-linguistic group are the Papuan peoples. There are around 9,600,000 Papuan peoples. This means that Papuan peoples make up 55.5% of Oceanian people. Papuan people speak Papuan languages. The origins of Papuan peoples is between 48,000 and 38,000 BC, when they arrived from the Malay archipelago. Out of the Papuan peoples, around 53.7% are Protestants, around 24.2% are Muslims, around 18.9% are Catholics, and 3.2% are atheists. The largest Papuan ethnic group are the Huli people. There are around 250,000 Huli people. They mainly live in central western Papua New Guinea, and they speak Huli. The second largest Papuan ethnic group are the Lani people. There are around 200,000 Lani people. They mainly live in eastern Indonesia and speak Lani. Now, the third largest Papuan ethnic group are the Ikari people. There are around 157,000 Ikari people. Ikari people mainly live in eastern Indonesia, and they speak Ikari. Now, the second largest Oceanian ethno-linguistic group are the Melanesian peoples. There are around 2,500,000 Melanesian peoples. This means that they make up 14.5% of Oceanian people. They speak Southeast Solomonic languages, Southern Oceanic languages, and Central Pacific languages, which are part of Central Eastern Oceanic languages, St. Matthias languages, Western Oceanic languages, and Timutu languages, which are part of Oceanic languages, which are part of Central Eastern Malayo-Polynesian languages, which are part of Malayo-Polynesian languages, which are part of Austronesian languages. That's a lot of languages. Anyway, the origins of Melanesian peoples is around 1000 BC when they migrated from New Guinea all the way to the Solomon Islands. The origins of Southeast Solomonic, Southern Oceanic, Central Pacific, Central Eastern Oceanic, St. Matthias, Western Oceanic, Timutu, Oceanic, Central Eastern Malayo-Polynesian, and Malayo-Polynesian peoples is unknown. Now, the origins of Austronesian peoples is in Taiwan between around 4000 and 1500 BC, before moving to Melanesia between around 1200 BC and 500. Out of the Melanesian peoples, around 77.3% are Protestants, around 18.2% are Catholics, and around 4.5% are Hindus. Now, the largest Melanesian people are the Ni Vanuatu people. There are around 270,000 Ni Vanuatu people. Ni Vanuatu people mainly live in Vanuatu, obviously, and Ni Vanuatu people speak so many languages that it would be impossible to list them all. The second largest Melanesian people are the Fijian people. There are around 520,000 Fijian people. Now, when I'm talking about Fijian people, I'm talking about the ethnicity, not the nationality. Fijian people mainly live in most of Fiji, obviously. And Fijian people speak Fijian, Lauan, Gonadao, Lomai-Viti, Western Fijian, and Namosi Nataisari Sarua. The third largest Melanesian people are the Rotuman people. There are 9,000 Rotuman people. Rotuman people mainly live in northern Fiji, and Rotuman people speak Rotuman. Now, the third largest Oceanian ethno-linguistic group are the Moluccan Peoples. There are around 2,500,000 Moluccan people. This means that Moluccan peoples make up 14.5% of Oceanian people. Moluccan people speak Central Eastern Malayo-Polynesian languages, which are part of Malayo-Polynesian languages, which are part of Austronesian languages, North Halmahera languages, which are part of West Papuan languages, North Moluccan Malay, Ambonese Malay, and Indonesian. The origins of Moluccan peoples is around 2000 BC. The origins of Central Eastern Malayo-Polynesian, North Halmahera, West Papuan, North Moluccan Malay, and Ambonese Malay people are unknown. But the origins of Indonesian people is in Malaysia between around 600 and 700. Out of the Moluccan peoples, around 87.2% are Muslims, 7% are Protestants, 2.9% are Catholics, 1.7% are Hindus, 0.7% are Buddhists, and 0.4% are atheists. The largest Moluccan people are the Manggarai people. There are around 700,000 Manggarai people. They mainly live in eastern Indonesia, and Manggarai people speak Manggarai in Indonesian because they live in Indonesia. The second largest Moluccan people are the Sika people. There are around 200,000 Sika people. They mainly live in eastern Indonesia, and Sika people speak Sika and Indonesian. The third largest Moluccan people are the Lamaholot people. There are around 200,000 Lamaholot people. They mainly live in eastern Indonesia and speak Lamaholot, Lewotobi, Adonara, Larantuka Malay, and Indonesian. Now, moving on, there are the Polynesian peoples. There are around 1 million Polynesian peoples. This means that they make up 5.8% of Oceanian people. They speak Polynesian languages, which are part of Central Pacific languages, which are part of Central Eastern Oceanic languages, which are part of Oceanic languages, which are part of Central Eastern Malayo-Polynesian languages, which are part of Malayo-Polynesian languages, which are part of Austronesian languages. Now, the origins of Polynesian peoples is around Tonga and Samoa, around 900, before spreading across the Polynesian Triangle. The origins of Central Pacific, Central Eastern Oceanic, Central Eastern Malayo-Polynesian peoples, and Malayo-Polynesian peoples is unknown. But what we do know is that almost all Polynesian peoples are Protestants. Now, the largest Polynesian people are the Maori people. There are around 600,000 Maori people. They mainly live in northern New Zealand. Maori people speak Maori and English because New Zealand was colonized by the United Kingdom. The second largest Polynesian people are the Samoan people. There are around 200,000 Samoan people. Samoan people obviously mainly live in Samoa, but when I'm talking about them, I'm talking about the ethnicity and not necessarily the nationality. The Samoan people speak Samoan and English because Samoa was colonized by the United Kingdom as well. And the third largest Polynesian people are the Tahitian people. There are around 185,000 of them, and they mainly live in eastern France. And Tahitian people speak Tahitian and French because they live in France. But don't be confused, they don't live in Europe. It's just that France still has land in Oceania. Now, moving on, there are the Aboriginal Peoples. There are around 800,000 Aboriginal Peoples. This means that they make up 4.6% of Oceanian people. Aboriginal people speak Newland languages, Wororan languages, Bunoban languages, Jarakan languages, Mirndi languages, Daly languages, Darwin region languages, Iwajan languages, Macro-Guen languages, Garawan languages, Tanke languages, Pamanyungan languages, Wagiman, Wardaman, and Tiwi. And the origins of Aboriginal peoples is between 78,000 and 38,000 BC in Southeast Asia before they moved to Papua New Guinea and crossed over to Australia, which is connected by land to Papua New Guinea, and then settled it. Origins of Newland peoples, Wororan peoples, Bunoban peoples, Jarakan peoples, Mirndi peoples, Daly peoples, Darwin region peoples, Iwajan peoples, Macro-Guen peoples, Garawan peoples, Tanke peoples, Pamangun peoples, Wagiman people, Werdaman people, and Tiwi people is all unknown. Now, out of the Aboriginal peoples, around 39.9% are atheists, around 30.1% are Protestants, around 23% are Catholics, around 2.6% are Muslims, around 2.4% are Buddhists, and around 1.9% are Hindus. Now, the largest Aboriginal people are the Gamilaroi people. There are around 13,000 Gamilaroi people. Gamilaroi people mainly live in southeastern Australia. They speak Gamilaroi in English because the United Kingdom colonized Australia. The second largest Aboriginal people are the Yugambeh people. There are around 10,000 Yugambeh people. They mainly live in southeastern Australia and speak Yugambeh. The third largest Aboriginal people are the Jajawarung people. There are around 2,500 Jajawarung people, and they mainly live in southeastern Australia. Jajawarung people speak Jajawarung in English because, once again, the United Kingdom colonized Australia. Now, we're moving on to the Negrito peoples. There are around 700,000 Negrito peoples. This means that they make up 4% of Oceanian peoples. They speak Andamanese languages, Aslian languages, and Nicobarese languages, which are a part of Austroasiatic languages, and Philippine languages, which are a part of Borneo Philippine languages, which are a part of Malayo-Polynesian languages, which are a part of Austronesian languages. The origins of Negrito peoples is around 68,000 BC when they moved out of Africa into Southeast Asia. The origins of Andamanese peoples, Aslian peoples, Nicobarese peoples, Philippine peoples, Borneo Philippine peoples, and Malayo-Polynesian peoples are unknown. The origin of the Austroasiatic peoples is probably in the Middle Mekong around 2000 BC, or the Lingnan area of southern China around 3000 BC. Out of the Negrito peoples, around 62.6% are Muslims, 20.2% are Buddhists, 6.4% are Hindus, 5.8% are Protestants, around 3.6% are Catholics, and around 1.3% are Confucians. Now, the largest Negrito people are the Ibanag people. There are around 500,000 Ibanag people. They mainly live in the northern Philippines, and they speak Ibanag and Ilocano, but also speak Filipino and English because they live in the Philippines. The second largest Negrito people are the Ilongot people. There are 87,000 Ilongot people, and they mainly live in the northern Philippines, and they speak Ilongot and Ilocano and Filipino and English. And the third largest Negrito people are the Semai people. There are around 50,000 Semai people. They mainly live in the northern Philippines and speak Ibanag, Ilocano, Filipino, and English. Next, there are the Micronesian peoples. There are around 200,000 Micronesian peoples. This means that Micronesian peoples make up 0.2% of Oceanian peoples. Micronesian people speak Micronesian languages, which are part of Central Eastern Oceanic languages, which are part of Oceanic languages, which are part of Central Eastern Malayo-Polynesian languages, which are part of Malayo-Polynesian languages, which are a part of Austronesian languages. And the origins of Micronesian, Central Pacific, Central Eastern Oceanic, Central Eastern Malayo-Polynesian, and Malayo-Polynesian peoples is unknown. And out of the Micronesian peoples, around half are Catholics and around half are Protestants. The largest Micronesian people are the Chukis people. There are around 55,000 Chukis people. They mainly live in the Central Federated States of Micronesia. And Chukis people speak Chukis and English, and that's because the Federated States of Micronesia was colonized by the United States. Now, the second largest Micronesian people are the Carolinian people. There are around 9,000 Carolinian people. Carolinian people mainly live in the Federated States of Micronesia, Palau, and the Western United States. Carolinian people speak Carolinian, Chamorro, and English because many of them live in the United States. And the third largest Micronesian people are the Nauruan people. Around 6,000 Nauruan people. They mainly live in Nauru and speak Nauruan, Nauruan Pidgin, and also English, because Nauru was colonized by the United Kingdom. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my other channel, Mike History 2, please do that, because I really need to recover back to 200 subscribers. And so it would really help me, especially because it was my birthday yesterday. I'm trying to get as many subscribers as possible. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and there will be another video this month. Bye.